Hello my friends, I'm back. This is continuation on my update and confessions. This is confession time. I know that surgery, bariatric surgery, there's a lot of risk, and everybody knows this going into it, at least most do. They've researched it sometimes for years before we go about having it. Me, I started the ball rolling about 16 months ago, but I actually started looking into it 2 years ago and started thinking about it when my nephew had it done about 6 years ago. So this has been rolling around in my head for a long time. And my sister, who is 3.5 years younger than me, or I should say would have been 3.5 years younger than me, was a very large woman. She was a lot larger than me. She was like 4,500 pounds. A very large woman. And she had a lot of problems. She had uncontrolled diabetes. She was insulin dependent, multiple injections a day. She had high blood pressure. She was bedridden for the last like 4 years of her life. Oh God, I can't even think of all the things she had. Oh, the one major thing she had at the end was congestive heart failure. I had been trying, when my nephew had it done, I tried very hard to talk her into, please Susie, this is my sister, my baby sister Susie. I tried to talk her into having bariatric surgery. I said, my nephew had it done. He's doing so good. Oh my God, you gotta have it done and get a life back. I need you. You're my best friend. When she was younger and able to still move around that, every time I went to the kids' stuff at school or wanted to go to the show and go see something that my husband didn't want to go to with me, I always drug my sister along. You know, my little baby sister Susie. She was always my pal to drag around. Well, I tried to talk her into it, and she was afraid, and then her husband, who was afraid that something would happen, decided that he was going to scare the daylights out of her, so he said, no, you'll die and I'll be without you, and so she didn't have it done when she should have. Well, she went a little while longer, a couple years longer, and ended up then with a congestive heart failure. Before that, it was just the diabetes and the high blood pressure and that, and then it got to be where she was bedridden, and the congestive heart failure was going to kill her. Well, right at the end, she started having complications of her stomach. She was having bleeding of her stomach wall and went into the hospital and was in there for 6 weeks. They kept giving her transfusions. They did, I think, 3 cauterizations on the lining of her stomach, but it was so traumatized from being stretched out from overeating that it was tearing. They'd fix one place and a new place would shred apart and start bleeding. And finally, after 6 weeks and multiple transfusions of blood, the doctor told her, listen, I'm going to tell you something. We're going to do a twofer here. 1, if we don't do the surgery, you're going to die. 2, it's high risk because you are so ill. But a year from now, I'm going to have you down to 150 pounds. And he says, and you'll have your life back. He said, what we're going to do is we're going to do a gastric bypass. But instead of keeping the stomach like usually they do for the gastric juices and stuff to still be working, they decided they'll just get rid of that part because it still wants to continue to bleed. And they'd give her a small pouch, just like the regular Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. And they said, they told us when she was in there that if she lived for 48 hours, if she made it through 48 hours, she'd be pretty much in the clear. That was on a Friday morning. And they never could get her off the respirator. And that Sunday, she passed away. Her heart couldn't take it. She waited too long to have the surgery, and she couldn't make it. So that was 3 years ago. And for the next year, it scared the bejesus out of me to think about having that surgery done for myself, because I thought, oh my God, my sister died having it. But my doctor brought it up to me 16 months ago and said, listen, I think this would be a good thing for you. I think you need to do it. And I told him about my sister. I said, I don't know if I could. And he says, you're as sick as you are. I'm insulin dependent. I've got high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I've got a few heart problems of my own with a severe mitral valve prolapse that I've been on medication for since I've been 19 years old. All these things were just going down the road. And he says, as sick as you are at your healthiest right now to have this surgery and live through it. He says, if you have it now, I guarantee you that barring some weird complication, you will make it through the surgery and be the healthier for it and have a life to live afterwards. He says, but if you wait, with everything happening right now, he says, if you wait another 5 years, he says, I can't guarantee that. I can't guarantee if you'd be able to live through it. So I thought very hard on this, and I started watching, going to the forums and I think it's the Thinner Times forum about it, looking into it, and then I found YouTube, and it was the most wonderful, enlightening thing of my life. And even though I had my nephew that had it, it was still, you know, he's a guy, he doesn't talk much, I don't see him that often, and I just didn't feel comfortable calling him and asking him about it. But YouTube, all this information and all these people just sharing it with you, and it feels like they're in your own home and they're your friends now telling you all about it. So it's wonderful. I made up my mind and I started the ball rolling 16 months ago. And I thought this day would never come, and I'm 5 days out and I'm nervous as hell, scared. I'm starting to have trouble sleeping at night. And there goes my timer again. But the thing of it is, I'm very excited. I'm very excited on this journey, and I just wanted to let everybody know how I was doing, and to give a little confession of sometimes things get in the way of having the surgery, and there's things in your life that can explain why you're so nervous about having it done, and that it's not just being a crybaby scaredy cat, but it's very real. But I look at all you out there that had it done and lived through it and are thriving on it, that I just can't help but say thank you everybody for being there and giving me the courage to do this. Thank you. Talk to you later. I will probably give you another update in the next couple of days of how I'm living through the whole week. Bye.